During each of my upcoming messages to the citizens of Texarkana, Arkansas, I want to provide you with some insight about who I am, and I hope that will assist you in understanding why I'm doing what I believe is best for our community. I promise no message will be longer than 15 minutes. I believe any avenue I travel, I should be able to articulate why I believe is the best for Texarkana, Arkansas. This will provide you with an opportunity to let me know why you believe we should be going in another direction if you do not agree with me. I caution you that I will expect you to be able to articulate why you believe we should not pursue the path I outlined. And I don't agree with you only response will not be sufficient for me to consider other alternatives. I am not like most political figures. I do not mind admitting I was wrong and I need to change my mind. My sole desire is to be a servant of the citizens of Texarkana, Arkansas, and oversee the management of our city with an ultimate goal of the citizens benefiting, not a bunch of bureaucrats who are not answerable to the voters. I am of the opinion we must spend your money in an efficient manner. That means I have a moral and legal obligation to scrutinize each and every department's expenditures. This will mean some sacred cows will be evaluated, and if the city is not benefiting, I will be presenting recommendations to the entire board of directors to reallocate those funds and designate them to another area. This year, I want to allocate those funds to our street department with specific instructions those funds are to be used solely to repair potholes in streets. Any changes in the expenditure of funds allocated in the 2011 budget must come before the board of directors for approval. No one, elected or hired, can utilize or approve expending funds for any purpose without specific approval of the board of directors. The reason for this process is to ensure our government is transparent and citizens have a right to voice their concern during a scheduled board meeting, and the topics to be discussed are publicized before each meeting. I want to encourage each of you to attend the board meetings. You do not have to attend just because you have a vested interest in a specific topic. I want you to attend so you can observe how your elected officials are conducting your business. I make this promise to each one of you. You will be provided an opportunity to speak to the board of directors before a vote is taken, if you so desire, on any resolution or ordinance being considered. You have the absolute right to speak to the board of directors on any subject during citizens' communications segment. There is a 5-minute time limit. We meet on the first and third Monday of each month in City Hall at 7 p.m. Our meetings are started on time. I hope to see you there. I would like to take a little bit more of your time to let you know what my vision for Texarkana, Arkansas is. As a city, we have an obligation and responsibility to provide a safe place for citizens to live. We do that by keeping our streets free from crime so our children can play outside, our elders can live without fear, and no citizen has any apprehensions about walking into or through any neighborhood within the city. Our police force must be adequately staffed, must be properly trained, and provided the equipment necessary to respond to emergency promptly. We have an unusual high number of houses that have been abandoned by the owners and left in disarray to the point the city has condemned them. Not only do they distract from the appearance of the neighborhood, these houses and businesses become havens for transients to live in, drug dealers to set up crack houses for the use and sale of narcotics. There was recently an incident in which a death occurred in one of the buildings identified for demolition. These areas are also a safety and health hazard. Our police chief, Bob Harrison, has initiated a one block at a time program in order to provide and maintain a proactive approach to the needs of our citizens. The goal is to unite citizens of various neighborhoods, assess crime trends within those neighborhoods, and address areas of social and environmental decline. It is now time for other departments within the city to assist in providing safer neighborhoods and assist the police department. We do not have to sit idly by while these buildings continue to deteriorate, create an eyesore, infested with rodents and other wildlife, and harbor transients and criminal activity while we're waiting to demolish them. The owners may have accepted the buildings has been condemned and are willing to wait for the city to demolish them, thereby costing them nothing until the property is sold. We have an ordinance in place which requires the property owners to clean up their property or be subject to citation and fines, regardless whether they have been condemned or not. Our code enforcement will be instructed to aggressively enforce ordinances which require property owners to maintain their property in a clean, uncluttered, and free from safety and health hazards. There will be one warning, and if the violation is not corrected, a citation will be issued. The city will also begin a viable program to demolish as many homes as possible this year with a goal to have all of these buildings demolished by the end of 2012. I am actively pursuing additional funds from the state and federal level for assistance with the costs associated with the demolition of these buildings. An average size building can cost the city up to $5,000 to demolish and dispose of the material from the property. I'm sure that there will be some listening to this message who will not be pleased. The city will hold you accountable for property which you own and have failed to maintain. If you own property and allow the property to become a safety and health hazard and are unwilling to do the right thing by keeping your property at a level identified in city ordinances, the city will no longer not hold you accountable. I want all neighborhoods in Texarkana, Arkansas to be free of buildings which are not maintained and cause a safety or health issue to the citizens living there. The second area in which we have the obligation and responsibility to provide a safe place for citizens to live is through our fire department. The fire department must be adequately staffed, properly trained, and provided the equipment necessary to respond to an emergency. We want our homes and businesses protected from burning down. When a fire occurs, we expect there will be a quick response, and our firefighters are trained in extinguishing the fires and preventing it from spreading to adjacent areas. They have the equipment to perform their task and sufficient staff to handle the situation. There have recently been numerous comments in the media and social networks, specifically Facebook, concerning the staffing patterns at one of our fire stations. I agree we must have adequate staffing to ensure the citizens will have a timely response from our firefighters when an emergency arises. The 2011 budget has been passed, and we do not have the funds in the budget to add additional staff this year, unless we're willing to take away from areas we have already made commitments for. I have asked our fire chief, Bobby Honey, to initiate a request to the board of directors to pursue a grant which would pay for a portion of the salaries of additional firefighters. There is no assurance we would qualify for the grant, and if we did, there is no guarantee we would receive it. Grants are going to be hard to come by due to the economic situation in our country. I will support and aggressively pursue adequate staffing levels at all stations in the 2012 budget. As we begin our 2012 budget workshops in late June and early July, fire department staffing patterns will be discussed. We need to understand, without additional revenues, the funds will need to be taken from other areas of the budget. My priority is ensuring our citizens have a safe community. During 2011, the city will be upgrading living areas in some of the fire stations. Our firefighters are required to live in the stations on 24-hour shifts. We have an obligation to provide suitable quarters for them. We will honor that obligation. In future messages, I will be discussing an approach we should take concerning animal control and management of our animal shelter. As warm weather approaches, we have individuals who are setting up puppy sales on the right-of-way and parking lots. Our current ordinances prohibit this practice without acquiring a permit from the City Hall. I am of the opinion this type of sale should be prohibited completely. Changing the ordinance will take time. I have asked code enforcement to ensure these puppy mill sales do not violate our current ordinances. I would ask our citizens not to acquire a pet from these individuals. Our animal shelter, Texarkana Animal League, Texarkana Humane Society, and other rescue organizations have ample dogs and cats which are available for adoption. Please contact one of these organizations to acquire an animal which needs a good home. There will be an upcoming segment dedicated to economic development. Growth in our economy will produce prosperity and raise the standard of living for our citizens. We must ensure there is an environment in Texarkana, Arkansas, which encourages small businesses currently in our community to expand and additional businesses to come to our side of town. We must protect the businesses we have to ensure those jobs stay here. I will continuously encourage you to visit businesses on the Arkansas side, as we highlight them on Channel 21 or our Facebook page, stop by and let them know their information is being noticed. You are an important factor in economic development and growth. As I close, I want to ask you to do one more thing. If you agree with my vision, let your ward director know and ask him or her to support these initiatives as they come before the board. 4 board members must approve any change, initiative, resolution, or ordinance. If you disagree with my vision, let your ward director know. And I also ask you let me know. I did not seek the office of mayor to satisfy a personal agenda or feed my ego. I am your servant. I am here as a helper to advance the citizens' agenda and desire, and I need to be doing what you want. If my vision is inconsistent with the citizens of our community, it does not need to be the vision of Texarkana, Arkansas. Thank you, and God bless Texarkana and all of its citizens.